My name is Caroline Gould. I'm the Principal Archivist at the Museum of English Rural Life and University of Reading Special Collections. Farmers Weekly is a magazine that's still around today, so we have copies in the museum from 1934 to present day. We hold the photographs of the Farmers Weekly. They were the photographs taken originally to illustrate the articles. There's a huge range of subject matter that Farmers Weekly took images of everything to do with farming and the countryside. But the ones that resonate with me are the wartime farming ones. There's some lovely images of the Women's Land Army, for instance. So we've actually encapsulated all the prints into Mellenic sleeves, so the historic prints from 1934 to about 1970. And we've also put the glass negatives of the Farmers Weekly into full flap enclosures. So those are all secure for the future for permanent preservation. We really need to turn our attention to the 1970s to 1990s negatives. These are at risk. Some of them are sticking to the packaging that they're contained in, and we need to transfer those into archival packaging to preserve them for the future. We've received some funds from the National Portfolio Organisation scheme from the Arts Council. That's funding the Reading Museum and the Museum of English Rural Life. We have a small amount of funding for preserving the negatives, but this will only preserve the ones that are sticking to the packaging. What we'd really like to do is to preserve as many negatives as we can, so that these collections are permanently preserved for the future.
So my name's Felicity McWilliams, and I'm currently an archive assistant on the Wellcome Trust project at the Museum of English Rural Life. Well, these images have research potential for all sorts of visitors. They're useful for us when we do exhibitions to illustrate our collections. They can be accessed by anybody. Anybody wants to come and use our reading room, they can find out what we have and have a look at them. But they're also of particular use to all sorts of researchers, historians, agricultural researchers, really anything you can think of. So I'm on this Wellcome Trust funded project, which is a big kind of multi-organisation project. There's lots of universities involved, King's College London, Leeds Trinity University, as well as the museum here. And my role is to select images from the Farmers Weekly collection that will be of use to these historians in their research. What they're looking into are two particular livestock diseases, and they're really interested in how farmers have understood those diseases and how they've changed their farming practices to try and manage them better. And this is a really important project because it's all about helping us understand better how farmers understand their livestock health and how we can improve our understandings of livestock and human health and disease. If we don't have an understanding of what's in these post-1973 images, we actually were missing half of the story.
They're really important because the 1970s onwards seems not too distant to some people, but these are archives of the future and we need to preserve them for future generations.
The ideal thing is that once we've done this work, once the collections are preserved and catalogued, it's easy for anybody coming afterwards to know that those collections are there and to access them. So all sorts of research projects in the future that we don't know about yet, but they're going to be able to use these collections, whereas they wouldn't if they were looking at them today.